Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is the undisputed super middleweight champion. I think he's currently a champion at 5 different weight classes.
Jeez.
He's kind of all over the place. 42-0-0.
No big deal.
You never fought anybody. Well, who would you like? Well, Canelo Alvarez. Well, he's like 15 pounds heavier than me. Well, why don't you fight him? Sure, I'll do that. And then what will I do? Put on a master class in the fight of the century. The fighter of the century. Out of Omaha, Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
Going great.
Hey,
just relax.
We appreciate you representing America out there, brother, in the fight of the century and getting a big-time win. How does it feel here? A couple of days removed. I don't know how many hours, maybe 36 hours removed from that fight. Did it feel special when you were in there? And then immediately afterwards, did we celebrate this thing properly?
Of course it felt special. You know, it was a historical moment, historical fight. I just chilled afterwards. I went to dinner and just came back and relaxed.
Been there, done that, brother. It's my first fight. It's my 43rd. Okay, you got to do what you got to do. 9th round. You had it won. I think everybody thought. Like you were winning the fight. Then there was a moment where you two just went to the middle, almost a point at the middle of the ring and say, let's just bang. Here, let's get after it. What is the mindset? Is it to put on a show? Do you think in this moment, okay, I'm built for this and also I can outclass him in here? Like, what is the strategy round around? And in this exact moment, did it feel like Allegiant Stadium just needed some fireworks real quick?
Well, you know, it's a fight. You know, like I said before, you know, we're going to do a lot of switching up and we're going to do a little bit of everything in there. We're going to do a little bit of boxing. We're going to do a little bit of banging, counter punching. You know, it's going to go a lot of places in that ring. And that's, you know, one of the places that it end up in is in the middle of the ring.
Have you seen the clip? Obviously, you saw it live in person. I don't know if you remember every single moment of every single fight. You caught him. You caught him with a great left. His head spins, and then he looks back at you almost like a what? Well, I did not expect that. I did not expect that. Neither of you guys obviously get knocked down ever. Felt like you caught him with a few. Was there a moment where you thought maybe you ended it on, like, as you connected, and then his jaw maybe impressed you? Or what was kind of the feel as you're kind of figuring each other out with the power and the strength of the shots to each other?
Not at all. Canelo's a strong fighter. When I caught him with that shot, he was actually, you know, anticipating the right hook. So he kind of rolled with the shot and then was anticipating the right hook a little bit. So, you know, that's kind of why he looked at like, it was like, going.
Had him on skates in there. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, how do you prepare for a fight like this? Are you a guy that sits there and do you watch a bunch of his older fights or his most recent fights? And I guess when you do bring a game plan into a fight, are you constantly changing that, especially like in between rounds? Are you making adjustments that your corner is giving you and you can actually execute those in the next round?
No, to be honest, you know, I don't watch a lot of fights in camp of my opponent because I know they're not going to fight me the same way. I let my team handle that. Let my team make sure that I'm in the best position possible for myself. So I just want to sharpen myself up. And then fight week, you know, I watch a little bit of fights and see, you know, just to refresh my memory of what they tendency is and what they like to do. And then I make my adjustments on the fly in the fight.
Okay, so when you're in there early, you're feeling like, ooh, wait a minute. Because obviously there's the mystique of Canelo. Is the fight of the fight. There's a feeling out process, and then is there a moment it's like, oh, I got a good tell on this guy, I got a good quick. Was that early? Is that going into the fight you feel that? And you just maintain that confidence throughout it all? Or is the first couple rounds a moment for you to realize, okay, maybe this works, maybe this doesn't work?
Yeah, the first couple of rounds is always a fell-out round, see what you can get away with and what you can't. And then, you know, you go from there. You make, you know, your assessment on what works and what don't.
Size looked good in the fight. On that note, D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, champ, you kind of talked about your camp and getting ready for the fight. What was it like putting on the weight to jump up a couple weight classes? How did you feel in the ring as far as your speed and as far as your power once you got in there?
I felt great. I felt strong. It wasn't a sense of putting on a lot of weight. Like a lot of people is running with that narrative and said, "Oh, he had to put on all this weight." Like, no, I just didn't have to lose too much weight. That way I could put on, a little weight here and there because, of course, I get to do more in strength and conditioning. But I didn't have to put on too much weight.
The people that ran with that narrative convinced me that was a narrative because I don't know the world as much. The thought of not having to lose weight is probably a happier. How was camp? Good camp.
It was great. It wasn't a camp that we was focused on weight, so we could just focus on my craft and focus on, getting stronger, which we was already strong, but, we don't know what we up against. So, we definitely want to make sure our body is prepared for whatever onslaught Canelo brings. So, of course, we're going to, cross our I's and dot our T's. And, that's what we did in training.
You looked unbelievable. You looked absolutely unbelievable. Not that you ever don't, but it's just like, God, this guy looks like he is very prepared. And then as the fight continued, it felt that way. Turkey Al Sheikh deemed you the fighter of the century. And obviously Ring Magazine and TKO come together to put this incredible event together. What has it been like, with the modern world of boxing now, that Riyadh season has gotten involved? And obviously Dana and Nick Khan of the WWE. And it feels like anything is possible in the boxing world now. Is that the big takeaway that we should think after you and Canelo fight and have the success? Or how do you kind of view it all?
Yeah, for sure. Anything is definitely possible. When a lot of people kept saying that what I was trying to accomplish was impossible. And I just kept saying it's impossible until somebody do it, and I'm going to be the one to do it. And a lot of people looked at me and just, they said, okay, and, now I made a believer out of all of it.
Yeah, they got that ring to it.
Turkey
pointing at that ring. Yep. How you doing? You got one of these? You don't? I do. Allegiant Stadium, 70,000 plus watching me dance around Canelo. You outclassed him. That's what all the super boxing people are saying. Outclassed. But it started a little differently than you normally start. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, but you are the main attraction whenever you're fighting. But this fight, you were the first entrance. Normally, you were kind of clean up hitter. Here we go. The attraction is here. Was it weird having to wait inside the ring while Canelo's doing his walkout? Did it feel like almost one of your early fights from that aspect just because you were already in there?
Oh, not at all. It's part of the game. I've been in that position before. It's been a long time. But at the same time, I understand. That he was the A side and he was the champion, and I was, the challenger coming to take his title. So, me walking before him, hey, so be it. When the bell rings, it's all the same.
You should have put one of those 40, 50-pound things on that the
Deontay
Wilder had on. Just test yourself. Have that on the entire time. I assume that phone call was Turkey or Dana or Canelo saying, when's the rematch? Or when does that type of conversation start for you? I already saw you getting called out by folks.
I don't know. Right now, I'm resting and enjoying my victory, and I'm gonna go back to my family, and I'm gonna just chill for a minute.
Yeah, take it in, brother. Fighter of the century.
Yeah.
Once in a century fight.
All time.
Looking, who's the champion? Me. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna enjoy that and let everybody else handle it. You're gonna go back home, we assume, to Omaha, Nebraska. Might have a team over there. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Champ, we all saw the Nebraska logo on the mouthpiece. That looks sick. How do you feel about Coach Rule and the boys this year?
I feel great about them. Every year I'm always pulling for them, and I think this year we got a great team, and we got a great staff, and I'm looking forward to big things with Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Can you tell me something about anybody can be a nobody? Because I saw Matt Rule hear you say it, and now that's becoming like the Nebraska Cornhuskers, I think, like mantra. Is that your thing?
Well, listen, everybody always say that I fight nobodies, and that was a big thing, in the press conference because, I remember telling Canelo, so is you going to be a nobody when I step a mole in your ass? I just wanted everybody to remember that, everybody that I fight, they say, oh, they nobodies, or they washed, or they this, or they that. So, anybody can be a nobody.
Yeah, we can certainly make them that way. Yeah, for sure.
So I like that. I like that phrase. Anybody can be a nobody.
Well, and on a deeper thing, like anybody can be a bum and be a nobody. It takes a lot to not be a nobody. And the amount of work, obviously, that goes into all of this is something that not everybody gets to see every single day. Your commitment to your craft and to your sport was on showcase in front of 70,000 people. And now you're 5-division champion, the super doper middleweight champ. I mean, it's just like, and we don't know what the money is, but we heard what it could have been. And then we heard what else it could have been. And we assume it's that one. You done good, bud.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You done good, bud. AJ has another question for you. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, how was the venue? It looked amazing on TV. Being in person, I can imagine watching it would be great. But what was it like for you fighting inside there in Allegiant Stadium?
Oh, it was electrifying. It was great. I remember my first time ever in the arena was at WrestleMania, and when I walked in, I looked around. And I was like, dang, I kind of got nervous because I was like, man, look at all these people in here. Like, man, you're going to be fighting in this mug in September. I was just preparing myself mentally of what it was going to feel like, what it was going to look like, and me walking in that arena, it was like, whoa. Once I walked out, all that went away. It was like, it's showtime. So go out there, have fun, be the star in the sky, and do what you do best. So I was more relaxed. I was more ready than ever. For that moment.
I was watching all the stars ringside go crazy for you. Were you feeling that in the moment? Did you see Chappelle's losing his shit right over here, going crazy for Bud? Did you feel that? See that? And who all did you chat with afterwards?
Well, I seen Dave Chappelle afterwards, but during the fight, nah. I just seen, my corner, Shakur Stevenson. I seen Bill Haney and Devin. A few other people. I seen Chance, the rapper, in the crowd. Okay. The people I kind of made eye contact with.
While you're fighting?
No. But like action and things like that.
Canelo, Chance right there.
Yeah, watch this.
All right, last question for D-Buck. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, you and Canelo obviously have a ton of respect for each other. And I saw something you did after the fight. You handed him back a bunch of his titles. Now, I don't know how often does this happen? I know they're customized every time you win one, but how often does it happen that you actually hand it back to the fighter?
Well, them is his titles. It's all respect. Like I told everybody for a long time. I'm like, man, me and Canelo, I got a ton of respect for Canelo. I'm a fan of Canelo. I've always been a fan of Canelo. And, I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts. I didn't want my team to hand him back his belts. I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts.
That's sick. All you guys that fight each other for a living seemingly have such a better sense of maturity about it all than I would or anybody else. It was an honor to watch you work. Are you in the Fontainebleau right now?
Yes, sir.
That place is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
We were there for WrestleMania. That place is glorious. Enjoy it all. You've earned it. It was an honor to watch you fight on Saturday, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the champion, Terence Bud Crawford.
Yeah, baby, champ, Terence.
70,000 people boxing.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fight of the century, 2 names.